Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation. My name is Ashley Dawes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and then we'll hop over to a really cool demo. So I've been a Myrtle Beach massage therapist for 12 years. I own a day spa called Essence Day Spa. I have an amazing team of massage therapists, esthetician, and a nail technician. One thing that I love to preach to them is about saving our body, saving our careers, increasing the longevity of it, and finding new ways. So one of the new ways that I do is I practice Ashiatsu. So what's really cool with that is I get to work with my feet. It's pretty cool because you get to deliver a lot of a deeper pressure. You're not compromising your body and your clients love it. So the next tool that I have added to my toolkit is going to be CoreStones. If you haven't heard of CoreStones, I highly recommend you check them out at CoreStonesMassage.com. They are the new innovative technology of hot stones. Let's be real. Who hates hot stones? Just kidding. I used to. I really did. The whole cleanup process of it, the grabbing on and compromising your hands, compromising your wrists, and then you have to take this tub with this water back to the sink, scrub them down, sanitize them, wipe them off, and get them into new clean water for your next client that's probably not within enough time frame to switch over the room. So the best thing with the CoreStones is it eliminates all of that. It's waterless technology, so it's this really cool silicone mat warmer, and it has a digital timer on it. It also has a digital temperature on it, which is great for insurance purposes. But the best thing is it's waterless. So the stones go right on top of it. After you use the stones, you can still put them right back on it. And then at the end of the session, when you're done, the cleaning process is seamless. You just take your EPA wipes, wipe, and then put them back down, and they're good to go for the next client. With these CoreStones, they are made of soapstone, so they're a great thermal conductor. So they hold the heat really well, and they also hold the cold really well. So if you love to work in contrast therapy, this is perfect. You don't have to worry about keeping them in a bucket of ice or them being too hot. It's magic. With the CoreStones, I found them a little over a year ago. The company had a vendor booth at the World Massage Festival. So while I was there, I happened to stumble upon the booth and I walked up to it and just saw the stones, checked them out, put them down, and walked away. Probably about an hour later, I walked back up to the booth, started playing with them again, talked to the owners a little bit about them, put them down, and walked back away. By the end of the day, I must have went over there about 10 times. That very last time, I did end up purchasing some and bringing them home, and I started working with them. Not necessarily understanding what I was doing with these specific stones, I decided to take a class. After the class, I have not used these stones in all of my treatments. The great benefit with these is not only the ease of the cleanup, the turnover time, as well as just the ease of using these stones. They are ergonomically made to fit our hands. So with the normal basalt stones or the Himalayan salt stones, most of them are rounded, whereas the CoreStones are cylinder shaped, gua sha shaped. Some have a rounded edge, some have an angled edge, and some have both. So it's great for trigger point work, it's great for scraping. It's also just great for overall ease and relaxation. With these stones, I love to market them as my deep tissue hot stone because you really can work underneath the muzzle with the angled edges, the trigger point work. It just takes your hot stone to the next level. In the demo, you'll see me using a couple of different techniques. There is no wrong stone to use. I think you'll really enjoy them. And if you would like to come and take a class, I am officially a CoreStones CEU provider. So it is 8 continuing education hours that you will receive. Yes, and now in New York, because we know their hours are very complicated, but you can also come to the beach, enjoy the ocean, come take a class, and just wrap up your mini vacation with an amazing new tool in your toolkit. If you have any questions, please let me know. But now we're going to hop over to the demo, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks, guys. To start our CoreStones demo here, we only need a minimal amount of lubrication. And with the stones, you can work with oil, lotion, cream, any type of preference that you have. So I like to test on the insides of my wrist just to be sure that the stones are not too hot for the client, and always double check with them for the temperature. The stones that I have here are the most popular Serenity stones. They have a rounded edge on one side and a beveled edge on the other. This is great for scraping down the muscle tissue as well as using it for trigger point therapy. Working with the stones, they contour to the palm of your hand, so they fit nice and perfect in there like a pocket. And then you're doing a lot more of the pressure coming from the palm of your hand and the thenar eminence. This alone gives us much better pressure while we're not working as hard. If you look down at the bottom of your screen, you can see the new CoreStone warmer. This is great because it has a flat surface and there is no water. The stones just sit on the top of the mat and they heat evenly. While working with the stones, you'll find that it has various shapes and sizes that can be used for all over the body. Today we're just going to be demonstrating some of the main strokes on the upper body. When you take the Upgrade Your Hands class, you will be able to do a full body massage with these hot stones. This 8-hour continuing education class is all hands-on. And the best part is you even get to learn some punny names to help you remember some of the techniques. Another great feature of the hot stone warmer is that it is completely enclosed underneath, so it does not put off a lot of heat. So if you have a small room or your room does get really hot, these new warmers will barely make a difference. The great thing about working with these stones is that they are made of soapstone. Soapstone is a great thermal conductor, meaning it can hold its heat really well and also hold the cold temperature really well. Today I'm just demonstrating with the heat. In your treatment room, if you did want to use contrast therapy with hot and cold, you could just leave your stones out on a table on the side. You wouldn't have to put them in the fridge. The AC can cool them enough. As for the stones holding the heat, they hold the heat for about 5 to 6 minutes, and then I can put them back onto the warmer and they'll take about another 5 or so minutes to reheat. But in this time, you can always grab another tool to use, especially if you're just working on various areas of the body. The tool I'm using here is called the Elite Dual. It is a 5-inch stone. It is beveled with an edge on one side and then it is rounded on the other side. The beveled edge is great for scraping the muscle tissue, and then the rounded edge is great for working in trigger points. I would say this is my most versatile tool that I use. It fits great in my hand. It keeps my wrist straight. I can scrape along the muscle tissue on the shoulders. I can turn it around and do trigger point work. It's always a common question when it comes to working with tools. Can you feel the adhesions in the muscle tissue through the tool? And yes, you definitely can. With a skilled hand and some intuition, you can definitely find those problem areas. You'll see that I also like to use my opposite hand just for some reinforcement, just to feel the muscle tissue, to give a barrier if needed around any of those bony landmarks. Here you can see me doing some quarter turns around the scapula. This feels great. Definitely much better than an elbow. In the class, you'll learn various techniques with the different stones, but at the end of the day, whichever one feels the most comfortable in your hand, that is going to keep your body mechanics correct, is going to be the best one to use. Watch as I work on this client's scapula. I'm working crossbody. This gives me a better angle of working at the muscle tissue. You can see she's got some nice hyperemia starting, working around the borders of the scapula. You just want to be sure you're not going to jam straight into the bone. The great thing with these stones is that the beveled edges fit nicely underneath the muscle tissues. Here I'm just applying a little bit more oil to the client. Her skin's a little dry, but that's okay. But remember, less is more, and with these stones you do not need a lot. Working with the CoreStones, we're trying to work more on a myofascial level instead of sliding and gliding like we would with the basalt stones. This next stone that I'm using is our 12-inch baton. This stone is great for the low back, great for larger areas of the body, the hamstrings, the quads. This grabs the muscle tissue. It has a larger surface area, so it's easier to grab more tissue all at once. This cylinder-shaped tool is great for hugging the borders of the scapula, to hug in the little pocket up above the neck and the shoulder. Here you'll see me doing some myofascial sliding. I'm just gliding the tissue towards the spine of the scapula, giving it a nice smooth over. What's great about this stone is you can hold it like a corn on the cob. It gives you a great amount of tool to work with, to hold on to, but also to use across the muscle tissue. And bringing this back to a pressure scale, the stones do have some weight to them. This specific stone is 2.2 pounds, so when you are exerting force, you really don't need to work that hard. It seems almost illegal to not be working as hard when it comes to the stones. Up next is going to be the Omni stone. So this is a very small fascial stone. It works great for really getting underneath the curvature of areas, doing some scraping of the muscle tissue. This one is also a very versatile stone. It fits very well around the tibialis anterior, the hands, even using this specific stone in between all the digits of the fingers. When it comes to the heat of the stones, the warmer definitely warms all of the stones evenly. However, these smaller ones like this Omni stone and the fascia stone that you will see later do heat up faster due to their wider surface area. So you just want to be mindful of that when you are picking those stones up and getting ready to use them on the client. A nice thing about the warmer is down by the digital part, you can move those smaller stones down to the edge and they will cool off a little bit faster. Also, when communicating with your client on the temperature of the stone, we like to use a 1 to 10 scale, 6 to 7 being in the middle. I personally like to say 7 is heaven. So instead of asking your client, how's the temperature, and they say good or it's okay, you don't really have a clear answer of where exactly you're at. Your heat sensitivity might be different from your client's. So I like to tell them on the scale of 1 to 10, how hot or how cold is the stone, with 10 being the hottest. And they give you a number and say, okay, and ascertain from there. This next stone is the 7-inch baton, so it's a little bit smaller than that 12-inch. This baton is great for around the arms, around the shoulders, and really just depending on your client's size, which is more comfortable in your hands. As I'm working around the table, you can definitely see that the client has some nice hyperemia. She definitely had some adhesions in that upper back. Now to work down on the arm, I grab the Omni stone again. This one is so great for scraping, getting those joints around the ankles, around the wrists. What massage therapist would not love this right here on the thenar eminence? So one side of it has a nice sharper edge, while the other side has more of a rounder edge. Here I grabbed the Elite Dual. So this one is rounded on one side and beveled on the other. This rounded edge going in after that Omni stone just gives it a little, okay, here, this feels good now. You can see the difference here now that I've grabbed the 12-inch baton, how much room I have on each side to be able to have enough to grab. This baton gives me more stabilization personally to be able to work the muscle tissue while also having a good grip. You can also see that my wrists are nice and straight, leading to better body mechanics. I don't think you can achieve this with the basalt stones. See how this baton grabs the shoulder nice, gives it a good hug, and then you can just roll over the tissue, just smoothing everything out. Along with the Upgrade Your Hands class, there are advanced classes for it. So the baton class, there's a gua sha class, and a migraines class. By starting with the Upgrade Your Hands class, you get introduced to all of the stones available, and then taking the advanced class after gives you more specific techniques with the different types of stones. I will say that after coming home with the CoreStones, it has definitely increased my revenue. When I first introduced them to my clients, I ran a special of a complimentary CoreStone session just to introduce them into it. Basically, at this point, they fell in love with the feeling of them, since it is giving them a deep tissue feel, but also relaxing with the heat. I personally run my business with upcharges, so at the time of the complimentary service, I did inform my clients that there was an extra $20 upcharge if they were to receive the treatment again. Now, I do know that some do not structure their services that way, so you're always welcome to up your prices a little bit with this new tool for your toolkit. One of the great things about the CoreStones class is everything is hands-on. So you get a feel for which stones you like, which stones you don't like, which ones are more comfortable. So at the end of the day, you don't have to go home with the entire set if you don't want to. If you're interested in taking a class, I do host my classes in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, or you can find other classes around the region. You can just go to the CoreStone Massage website and find different areas. The company is also open to having you host a class. We are always open to new areas and new connections to share this wonderful, innovative concept to massage therapists. Our goal is to help massage therapists love the tools that they use. I would say the number one thing that sets CoreStones apart from any of the other stone companies is that the shape of the stones and how ergonomically made they are. Giving a hot stone massage could not get any easier than this. And then with the cleanup time, it's even easier, and the stones will already be warm for your next client. I encourage everyone to give hot stones a second chance. You will certainly fall in love with this waterless design. One of the great things about being a massage therapist is that we get to invest in ourselves and invest in our tools. So taking a CoreStones class will help you invest in your future. Adding new tools to your toolkit can be a game changer for your clients. You'll notice here that I did lay down one of the stones on my client's lower back. I sometimes do this when the stone is just a little bit too hot. Like I said in the beginning, some of these flatter stones do get hotter faster. So I like to let them cool down on the low back, of course over the sheet, while I use another tool so I can work while this next one will cool off. What's even better about the stone resting on her low back that is cooling off for me to use is that it will still have a nice and comfortable temperature by the time I'm able to use it. When using stones or any other type of tools in my services, I like to palpate the tissue first, just see how everything feels, double check my bony landmarks because everyone's body is different. And then of course recheck the heat of the stone on the inside of my wrist, and also verbally check with the client on the table how the temperature is. The fastest way to ruin a hot stone massage for someone is putting a stone on a client that is too hot. You always want to double check, because the next time they get a massage, they will be very scared of getting a hot stone because they will go back to the last time I got one, my massage therapist burned me, and they'll never want to try it again. CoreStones formulates their own products such as lotion, oil, massage cream, and my absolute favorite that I'm using in this video now called Arnica and Ice. This gives a very nice menthol and cooling effect. This product is great for spot treatment, especially if it's over an area that you worked really well with the stones. This is definitely a client favorite. I love to end my massages with this product. Now that I've completed the demonstration of working with the CoreStones on the upper body, I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy it is to clean the stones. So here I'm just taking my stones and laying them on a towel on the table, and then I am grabbing my EPA wipe. We use prevention wipes, but you can use any kind that you like. Just make sure it is EPA regulated. These prevention wipes have a 1-minute contact time, so you want to make sure the stones are wet for 1 minute. This is going to kill the bacteria and sanitize them. So I'm just wiping the stones here one by one and then placing them on the clean surface. The stones are still warm, which is perfect because for my next client, when they come in, the stones will already be preheated and I can just adjust the digital thermostat on the warmer. You can see in the video here that I am using gloves. It's not necessary as it is a hydrogen peroxide base. However, I prefer to wear gloves just in case because you could always develop a sensitivity to any kind of product at any certain time. I hope you have enjoyed this demonstration of me using the CoreStones. If you would like more information, you can go to www.corestonesmassage.com, or you can find my personal website at www.essencemb/CoreStones. I look forward to all of your questions. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and fall back in love with using hot stones.